She walked into my garage needing a job. I never expected to fall in love the first time I saw her. She wasn't carrying a resume. She was carrying the weight of a life that had almost broken her. Standing in the doorway of my small auto garage in Asheville, North Carolina, with tired eyes and trembling hands. She looked as though she had spent weeks convincing herself not to walk inside. I had no idea that the simple decision to offer a stranger a chance would become the turning point that changed both of our lives forever. Before we continue, if you believe kindness can change lives, if you still believe in hope, forgiveness, compassion, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps these stories reach people who need hope the most. My name is Nathan, and I had owned Carter's Auto Repair for almost 12 years. My father started the garage, and after he passed away, I promised myself I would keep it running no matter how difficult things became. Business wasn't terrible, but it wasn't easy either. Big repair chains had opened nearby, and every month I wondered whether I would make enough to cover payroll and the mortgage. Even so, I had learned one lesson from my father: never judge people by the clothes they wear or the storms they carry inside them. The young woman introduced herself as Grace. She admitted she had never worked in an auto shop before. She wasn't asking for charity. She simply wanted any honest job that would help her rebuild her life. There was something genuine in the way she spoke. She didn't make excuses or dramatic promises. She simply asked for an opportunity. Most people would have turned her away. I almost did. Training someone with no experience would slow everyone down. But something about the quiet determination in her face reminded me of my mother after my father died. She had faced impossible days without asking anyone to rescue her. I offered Grace a temporary position cleaning the office, organizing inventory, answering phones, and gradually learning basic automotive tasks. She smiled with tears in her eyes, and I realized that sometimes the greatest gift isn't money. It's simply hearing someone say, "I believe you can." The first few weeks weren't easy. She mixed up inventory numbers, struggled to identify parts, and apologized far more than necessary. Some customers questioned why a young woman was working in the garage, while a few mechanics from neighboring shops laughed whenever they saw her carrying toolboxes. She never argued. Instead, she showed up every morning before sunrise, swept the floors before anyone arrived, studied repair manuals during lunch, and stayed late asking endless questions. Slowly, everything changed. She became the first person customers asked for at the front desk because she remembered every name and every story. Elderly customers appreciated her patience. Families trusted her honesty. Veterans stopped by simply to thank her for always asking how they were doing. Business began improving, not because we advertised more, but because people felt cared for. Then one rainy evening, after everyone else had gone home, I found Grace sitting quietly in the waiting room, staring at an old photograph she carried inside her wallet. She finally trusted me enough to explain why finding this job mattered so much. Her parents had both passed away within a few years of each other. Medical bills had drained every dollar they owned. She had spent months moving between temporary apartments while working odd jobs that barely covered food. She wasn't looking for someone to save her. She simply wanted a place where hard work still meant something. That night, I understood that strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it looks like showing up every morning, despite carrying heartbreak no one else can see. Months passed, and the garage slowly became more than a workplace. We celebrated birthdays with homemade pie from Mrs. Harper next door. Local children visited during charity car care events. We repaired vehicles free of charge for struggling families whenever we could afford it. Grace suggested starting a scholarship fund, using part of our yearly profits to help students interested in skilled trades. Her kindness spread through our small community faster than any advertisement ever could. Somewhere along the way, I noticed the garage felt brighter whenever she laughed. Difficult days no longer seemed impossible. I found myself looking forward to every morning because I knew she would already be there with fresh coffee, organized paperwork, and that quiet smile that somehow made everything feel manageable. Still, I stayed silent. I didn't want gratitude to be confused with affection. She deserved complete freedom to build her own future without feeling obligated to anyone. One Saturday afternoon, nearly a year after she first walked through my door, our town held its annual community festival. As families gathered around live music and food trucks, Grace thanked me for giving her more than a paycheck. She said the garage had given her dignity, confidence, and something she thought she had lost forever, a place where she truly belonged. That was the moment I realized love isn't built through dramatic moments. It's built through ordinary days filled with patience, respect, encouragement, and unwavering kindness. A few months later, surrounded by friends, loyal customers, and neighbors who had become like family, we were married in the small white church just outside Asheville. Nearly everyone from the garage attended. Even customers brought handwritten cards describing how Grace's kindness had restored their faith in people. Today, Carter's Auto Repair is still standing. The sign outside hasn't changed much, but inside, it has become something far greater than a business. It has become a place where second chances are given freely, where compassion matters as much as skill, and where every person who walks through the door is treated with dignity. If this story has touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a little hope today. Stories like these remind us that even the smallest act of kindness can change a life forever. Before this story comes to an end, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us about a time when someone gave you a second chance, or when you gave one to someone else. Your story might encourage another person who desperately needs hope. I often think back to that rainy afternoon when a frightened young woman stepped into my garage, looking for nothing more than honest work. She believed she was asking for a job. Neither of us knew she was walking into a future filled with healing, purpose, family, and love. Sometimes the greatest miracles don't arrive with fanfare. They quietly walk through an open door, asking only for a chance.